Mark. How are you? I thought there was only room for one redhead here. The ultimate goal for us in Australia, I would love nothing more for us to produce a women's singles world champion.
I remember Alec Evernatis saying to me years ago, that the hardest frames to win are your first and your last. Well, there doesn't have to be a last. Your last frame to win is the shot clock.
There's nothing like being a frame away from a win and having to get over the line, and that's how champions are built.
Support for today's show comes from Gary Bradshaw Photography. Gazza B shoots weddings, family shots, corporate portraits, events, and just about anything else, including great club photos. Check out his work in today's local league roundup section. And for all your photography needs, check out Gary Bradshaw Photography. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very special guest with us this week on 8Ball FM, one of the greats of Australian women's 8Ball, a member of the all-conquering 2016 Australian women's team that won the World Championship and winner of the recent Ladies Big Guns 2025. Please enjoy our interview with Taylor Meyer. Welcome, Taylor. It's good to have you here. Congratulations on your win in the Ladies Big Guns. I did the math. You are now the defending Ladies Big Guns champion for 6 years.
That's it. Not very often you get to defend a title 6 years apart. So
how long has the Ladies Big Guns been going for?
Feel like it might have been the fourth time.
Fourth time? And you've won half of them?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So won it in 2019, and then, of course, COVID arrived, and it hadn't run since then until this year. And you came back to defend your title and won it again. Massive effort.
Don't know if anyone's going to keep it for 6 years like what you have. So be the longest streak ever.
Well, yeah.
Was it Benny Noonan that won the national singles just before COVID? I remember him used to saying, I've been the Australian champion for 3 years or 4 years or something.
Yeah, he did. I was pretty sure, won it before COVID. I spoke to Vince Falcon yesterday. He rang me.
You spoke to Vince Falcon?
Yeah. So shout out to Vinny. How are you?
G'day, Vinny.
He said to say hello to you, Marty, as well. He didn't know you were going to be on, Taylor, so.
I don't think I know the bloke, so.
Yeah, been around a very, very long time. Hasn't played, obviously, probably for the last 10 years or so. But when I started playing, he was one of the guys that I'd go down there and play every Friday, and got a lot of help off him. And, yeah, it was good.
Legend of Victorian and Australian pool from 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, long ago.
So the Ladies Big Guns. So, Taylor, I've broken this down into 3 parts. So, first of all, I would just cover the format so everyone knows what's going on. So, it was a double elimination event up until the quarterfinals. So, there was a double chance until you got through to the last 8. And you had to either win 3 matches to get through, or if you lost, you went through to the loser's side of the draw, and you'd have to come through the loser's side of the draw. And you actually ran, in your 3rd round match, you ran into a in-form Kerry Spengler. She was absolutely firing, and she beat you 8-4 in that match.
Yeah, 7-4, but the match clock ran out. But yeah, Paul stat
Right,
showed 8-4, so Kerry.
Oh, yes, Paul stat shows 8-4. Thank you for correcting me. She was playing really well. Shout out to Kerry. Kerry, you played well in both your matches. We'll come to your second match in a moment. In all your matches, but then later on, we're going to cover another one. Playing really well, so good on you, Kerry. And so got the better of Taylor in the double elimination round. So you went to the loser side of the draw, but thankfully, like we've talked about double elimination matches and how it can be a really long grind to get back in. But thankfully, you jumped right to. I think you just had to play 1 match on the loser side.
Yes.
And then come through to the last 16, and did they do a blind draw then, Taylor?
So the seeds kept their spot. So Kerry took my seeded spot, and then, blind draw into the who you're playing against. So, yeah.
Did you put any time in before this tournament? Like, did you put in a few hours or several hours, or how long did you have before actually knowing about the tournament happening to actually starting?
Yeah, it was tough, scary. So probably only knew a month before. and I'd actually booked to go to Japan in the school holidays. So basically, my school holidays fell smack bang in the middle. So I was in Japan for 2 weeks. So really had limited preparation in that sense, but certainly hit some balls the week prior. So got back from Japan the week before and hit as many balls as I could in between work commitments, and then
That's good. So you put in practice.
yeah, that's it.
So you put in some.
Yeah. So
That's good.
knew that I could cue a ball because it has been a while since I've played, but certainly once I got there, it was a different ball game playing under pressure, and certainly a big
Yeah,
preparation
100%.
from how I went into the tournament in 2019.
Yeah. I always found practicing like by yourself and then actually playing someone and getting the match play and the practice, the solo practice. You need both, because if you don't have both, you can practice for a whole year by yourself and be 100% like you're never missing a ball. But the moment you're in the real world with pressure, waiting for your turn, someone flukes a ball, it's hot, it's cold, there's people walking around, there's people yelling, like there's so many different variables. You need to have the match play followed by the practice, match play, practice. And I think you definitely need to have both of them to become a strong
Yeah.
player.
And that
in
absolutely
this
would have
game.
been the ideal preparation had it allowed for it. And certainly with a match clock, I've never played with a match clock. So 2-hour
Hard.
match clock, that took a while to adjust to, particularly on the Saturday. And probably sort of lost my way in that first match against Carey, and probably didn't cope too well knowing that it was 2-hour match clock. So that was a real learning curve for me, and something that I just had to use as experience going into the next match on the loser side, in saying that that's a race to 6, and felt pretty confident that a race to 6 could be, played out, even if it was a tight one in the 2 hours. But knowing going into the next day, you're going to be playing 3 really quality opponents if you keep winning, and knowing sort of how to handle that. So in a way, it was a blessing having that.
Were they on the Racing totals?
Yeah, they were. They played.
What do you think of them over? Have you played on Supremes and?
Played on Supremes. So sort of assumed that they'd be similar. Centre pockets, certainly different and probably better. Certainly like the centres on these better. That clunk on a Supreme is traumatic. So yeah, it was nice to fly on the Friday night and went down there and hit some balls. So and I just love the smaller tables being, 4 foot nothing. So and just and trusting that I can get the white to where I want to get it to, and I think they suit how I play the game. So yeah, I was looking forward to getting out on them.
You've always been a fairly deadly player for SA, so I think no matter whether you had an hour practice or 20 hours practice, I think you're always going to be one of the favourites to go in there and win that.
Yeah.
So well done.
I didn't feel like I was going in a favourite, or wasn't really sure what I could expect of myself, and tried to remove the external pressure and just worry and focus, and really reconnecting to the pool community is so important to me. So really just embrace that, and when I get out there, I want to win. So about doing enough to get the win.
Now, you did, of course, have the number 1 seed, being the defending champion from 2019.
Yeah.
It feels so strange, and it was so long ago, and regardless of whatever the form is like, you are the number 1 seed. But that gives you the advantage of not having to play the other top 7 seeds for the first couple of rounds at least, right? So
yeah, that's it. I've never gone into a tournament as a number 1 seed. Big Guns 2019 was the only singles tournament that I'd won where your seed carries those. I saw that on the Friday as I left work. And yeah, I guess I sort of probably knew that was coming in some ways, but didn't expect it either, given that it was 6 years ago. When they got released, just again, at the end of the day, it's a number in front of your name. You've still got to get in there. You've still got to win matches, and just tried to remove that whole sense of being a number 1 seed, to be honest, and just focus on what I have to do. Certainly the draw, that you're not going to be playing one of the top, you're going to be playing a seed in the final 8 of the winner's side. and you're not going to be playing, the second or third seed early on in the tournament, which certainly is good when you're feeling, probably underdone in terms of match practice leading up into the tournament. So,
So, of course, that when Kerry knocked you out to the loser's side, she takes over that seed position.
Correct.
So, for you in the last 8, you're effectively unseeded at that point. You're playing in an unseeded position. Is that
Correct.
right? So what? Yeah.
Yeah,
So any of the seeds that made it through, made it through, they're holding their position, and then everyone else is.
that's it. And I think after I
Time
lost to
space.
Kerry, I just had to, I could only control what I can control. And the most important thing was winning that next match to give me a shot into the quarters. And wherever you're drawn. You can't control that at the end of the day once you lose that seated position. So just, what was it
When
was what it was.
when you won it the first time, did you lose a life or did you win it straight
No,
through?
I did not. Won it straight through. Got over Sharon Brown, who had been sort of I had never been able to beat her, had come close a couple of times and probably threw away a really good opportunity to go deep into an Australian singles one year.
Yeah.
Lost control of a match to Sharon Brown. So, that's special now, and certainly she's missed in the pool world. So,
Yeah. Legend of the
absolutely.
game.
Mark, how are you? I thought there was only room for one redhead here. That's why I thought you didn't show up. So
I'm only half a redhead from here down now. You've got the other half
that's
covered.
it. That's it.
Taylor, just for reference, you talked about the timed matches. So they were 2-hour matches.
Correct.
And on the winner's side, they were races to 8. So a possible 15 frames, which works out to an average of 8 minutes. You only need to have 1 or 2 frames that drag on, get into a bit of tactical play, and suddenly there's time pressure
That's it. Well,
hanging over you.
yeah, and I don't think anyone would probably disagree. There's not too many matches that are going to go hill 7-all to 8-7 in the female game. And even, so it probably just changed how I approached a match and how I settled in. In all honesty, I probably just didn't settle in because I think, in the past when you know it's going to run to 8, you can sort of settle in. And if you find yourself, I think last big guns, I was 4-1 down to Rio in the semi and knew there was time to get myself back in it and keep fighting. Whereas you find yourself 4-1 down in a 2-hour match, it's tricky to recover. So starting matches off is really important. So
Do you think they could maybe look at, let's just say it's a race to 8, have it so if it's 7-6 or if both of them reach 6, then the time is now gone and the match can be played out? So, something like that. Like if both of them get close to the finish line within 2 frames, then maybe the time clock then just gets vanished and they can then finish the game, whether it takes another 20 minutes or half an hour or whatever.
yeah,
Because I think obviously, it's sad to see sometimes, you got a really good match and then for it to end, we've all had it happen too.
Mm.
And then you're either running the shot clock down a little bit or if you're in front and those first couple of frames, like what you said, they're massive to go 2-0 up. And then, there's an hour and 25 minutes left. And then if you win the third one and so much pressure on them now, and then they overextend and then you capitalize on that. And it changes the game. It really does.
Yeah, it does. I think there is room for that. I think even looking at, do we play matches out once it gets to a certain point in the tournament? And then I was asked this by Mel, and I think Mel did an amazing job, certainly this time around, in terms of scheduling our games. People had flights, those sorts of things, and you're not going to change it mid-tournament. And, I sat down with her and had dinner after the final and she asked me and I said, well, at the end of the day, I think the ultimate goal for us in Australia, I would love nothing more for us to produce a women's singles world champion. We haven't done that yet. We've come close with Renata in the final, some semi-final appearances and lots of quarters. But I don't know what they're doing over at Worlds at the moment because I'm a little bit out of the loop. But if they are playing times matches, I guess let's emulate that so that when we go over there, we're used to that. You know, yeah, I want to see a singles world champion ultimately.
Good
I
point.
think the best way to get better at the time matches, if you were to go over there, is to get better at obviously reading the game. If you can read the game quicker than your opponent, you can make decisions quicker. You can then pull the trigger whenever you want at the right times and not the wrong times.
Correct.
I think the person that's match fit will win more times than not because they're thinking quicker and they can take advantage of the time, and time's actually not an issue for them. You got someone that, like yourself, that hasn't played for a while, comes in and then now has the time on them. It's going to be very hard for you, and you're going to have a bit of a brain fade, I guess. But if you're match fit, then that time actually starts to disappear a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And I think at the end of the day, if they're the conditions we're going to be playing in at a pointy end of a world title, I don't think there's anything wrong with playing it in some of our biggest tournaments. And as women, we don't get that many tournaments to play in that are high stakes. So yeah, I guess for me, having not played heaps, obviously being able to play out race to 8, I'm going to back myself to settle into a match. So that would have suited me. But I think when I look at it, what are we trying to achieve? Like I said, I'd love nothing more for us to produce a singles world champion. And if we're going to be playing under those conditions, and
you can do it.
That's the conditions we're exposed to, and we have that match fitness under time pressure, or under pressure in that sense. I think that's what we should do going forward.
Let's just give a quick shout out to Mel. Mel, thanks for putting this on. It's great to have another one of these events for the women in Australia, and you've done a great job. And when we talk about if we're critical about timed matches, like early on in the tournament, I get it. Like the tournament directors need to plan, they need to schedule. It actually makes a whole lot of sense to get through those early rounds and know what's going to happen. We might jump into part 2 about the later stages of the tournament. So really it's the last 8 when things get interesting. So you make it through the last 8. It's now straight knockout. No more double elimination. I'm not even going to cover your first match, but you run into Kerry Spengler again in the semi-finals. Have you watched this match back on
No, I
Heyball
haven't had a
TV at all?
chance. Certainly, I've watched.
I'm going to show you a moment from that match. Okay. Let me recap what actually happened. So remember, this is a timed match. Kerry gets 4-2 in front against Taylor. Taylor claws it back to get to 5-4 down, and I'm going to share this moment. You need to listen to the audio as well, by the way. Trav Crawley makes one of the greatest calls in commentary that you've ever heard in your life. So this is on the left-hand side, Kerry and Taylor playing, and this is this moment in the match.
How much time is left?
There's about 15 minutes, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
much.
So 1 or 2 frames, yeah.
What's she doing?
Taylor Meyer with black off the break. Am I calling it? Trav.
Oh, no.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
She did it.
I frickin' called it.
Hang on. Did he say, am I calling it?
Trav Crawley said, black ball off the break. Am I calling it? And then
Yeah,
Taylor.
but he didn't. So he didn't call it. He said, "Am I calling it?"
Am I calling it? Trav. Forget about what Ro was saying. That was an unbelievable call in the commentary.
It was sort of a half call.
There has not been a golden break in the tournament to this point. And the moment he mentions it in commentary, Taylor, who's clawed her way back from 4-2 down to 5-4 down with about 15 minutes left, has leveled it with a golden break. Taylor, talk us through that moment. Like, how are you feeling?
And the balls landed plumb as well.
Yeah, the balls they split
did,
well. Look, yeah, it was the moment of the tournament for me. I don't land that golden break. Probably, best case scenario, we're going into a 6 Red Shootout. Land that golden break, take the momentum. Like gut wrenching for Kerry. Kerry absolutely played better that whole match. And probably deserved to get the win. And somehow I just stuck around. And I did at different times in the tournament, just did enough to stick around.
And that's the secret, sticking around. I say that a lot to people. Whenever you're playing a money match or whatever, race at 3, 5, 7, 9, whatever tournaments, stick around, because there'll be a time when it will change and you'll get that opportunity. It always happens. And sometimes you can take it, sometimes you can't, but you can't take it if you're not sticking around. So that's 100% true.
Yeah, and it was just such a critical point. I think before that, I started getting in my own head and probably compartmentalizing everything. So everything became sort of explicit, and I was thinking about every component of my routine or my shot. And when you start doing that and you're under pressure, that's when things start going wrong. So I think, that it just came at a time where it just made me stop and say, oh, well, I've just got to enjoy this. And thankfully got the next frame and, I started feeling a little bit better at the table. So won the next frame, knew there wasn't much time on the clock, and I could just, run the clock down a little bit. And,
Yeah, I watched that frame.
I don't love doing that, but in those situations, when there is a match clock, that's part of the game. So
We've all had to do it, and we've all had it done to us. It's a part of it. It's brutal. It's brutal when you're having it done to you. Like you feel like launching over there and flipping the table. But when you're doing it to someone and you see that there's 90 seconds left on the clock and you've got 4 balls that you can tap in at 30 seconds a shot, you know that it's over. And everyone knows what's going on, but it's got to be done.
correct.
Otherwise, you're just throwing away such a big advantage. I think that was the key point that Vic said about sticking around. So when you got that golden break, that was 5-4 down. If you had given up 2 frames earlier, or a frame earlier, whatever, and let's say instead of 5-4, it's 6-3. I don't know, it was race 2-7 or 6. Let's say it's race 8. Okay, there you go, race to 8. So instead of it being 5-4, so that's 9 frames, let's say it's 6-3, and you get that heavenly blessed golden break. It's probably not really relevant, but because you won the last 2 frames, you didn't give up, you hung in there. When you got that bit of luck, that bit of something that, for any of us who have won a tournament, there's always been a point where we've been really lucky in some capacity. Either we've gotten a good run of the balls, we've fluked a shot, our opponents have played a disastrous shot. Something has happened always that you can recap on and go, ooh, I could have been out there, but this happened. And you stuck around. So when you got that bit of luck, it went to 5-all instead of 6-4 down.
Yeah, correct.
So big difference there. Stay within striking distance. That's something I noticed, like guys like Jake and Justin do, is even when they're playing bad and you get a good lead on them, maybe you're 5-3 up, because they've just hung in there for that extra frame where other people are 6-2 down, They're 5-3 down instead of 6-2 down. There's a very, very big difference. So when that little bit of swing happens, they're right there, ready to capitalize. Very annoying.
And Taylor, we see you on camera. You give it the big fist pump, and you're up on your toes and you're bouncing and you're excited.
It's just not something I've probably ever done, and it's not something I chose to do. It just was...
South Australian thing, I think.
Nah, I don't think
bad
so.
Etiquette. Bad etiquette.
I'm not criticizing you for being excited about making a golden break. What I wanted to ask you is we don't see Kerry. Like, did you see Kerry in that moment? And was there a slump in the shoulders? Did you get a sense of, that she felt the match was slipping away?
I'm probably not in that
It would have been brutal.
but certainly in the next frame. I went from, like I said, really struggling, really probably focusing on each part of the shot and just absolutely bottling it, really. There were times when I didn't even hit a rail, and that just shouldn't happen. You hang in there, you sort of get that moment of luck that hasn't come all tournament for anyone. And then the next frame, I sort of say to myself, well, here's an opportunity and you're going to take it. And I know that I can trust myself to give myself a shot to do that. I have played enough pool to be able to do that. So I think at 6-5 and as the clock was coming down, certainly it was tough. And I'm grateful on this occasion. I'm on the side that I was, but absolutely felt for Kerry, and I thought Kerry played really well all tournament. I've been out of the game for a little bit, but I've, seen results, and she's definitely been around the mark at different times. And I think she made an Australian black ball singles final not that long ago. So I think, when I think of the future of Australian pool, the depth is growing, which is really, really exciting. That's what we want. That's how we're going to keep getting better, and ultimately that's how we're going to produce Australian teams that are going to win more world titles, and singles players that can go and contend for a world title. So yeah, hats off to Kerry. Yeah, certainly got the rub of the green there at the right time, and yeah, I could see she was gutted. And yeah, I hope she bounces back stronger and proves to everyone how good a player she is.
I can totally imagine, seeing that happen. If that happened to me, if I was sitting in the seat and Mick's playing against Ben and he hits a golden break, I'd be like, oh, I've tried my guts out and I had the lead, and he just comes back. So, and shout out to you, Kerry. Like, you did play really well.
I think the plant you made, the long plant you made, that was a really good shot. I felt that was the black ball, because then you could just run out the clock after that.
Yeah.
So when you made that long plant, did you go, okay, now it's just run out clock,
Correct.
basically?
Yeah.
That was the money
I was
ball.
probably a little bit
the long
gutted that
plant.
both of those balls went in, because you
Yeah.
lose that 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Knew that even if I sort of had missed that plant, I was looking at her in a tricky spot, and it was going to take something special for her to run the last few balls. So yeah, as soon as that came off all right, yeah, it felt pretty good.
All right, let's get to part 3 of the tournament, which is the final. You play Kolbe Poole, another legend of Australian women's 8-ball. It ends up 5-all, and the clock runs out, and you go to a 6 Red Shootout. So my first question to you is, have you ever played a 6 Red Shootout before?
So I have once, back in when they did the Pockets Invitational, 8 players.
Yes.
And I came out worse there. I tried to chalk my cue, and I reckon it was Mark and Della walked in to the bar and said, "Oh, good one, chalking your cue." So I actually put my chalk down on the table where my drink was, so I couldn't chalk my cue. And yeah, just chose to enjoy it. And I think, everyone would talk about it being 5-all, but I was 5-2 down.
Just so you know, I had a 6 Red Shootout with Della, and he shot a minute 5. So he's under no authority to give advice on 6 Red Shootouts.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
I did, certainly I've never seen a 6 Red Shootout in a women's tournament in Australia. I don't even think they play them that much in open tournaments.
Yeah.
Either. So yeah, I wondered if you'd ever done it. So, and do you know if Kolbe has played a 6 Red Shootout?
No, she hadn't. So
she hadn't, right?
Yeah, it probably not the most ideal way to end a tournament, but when we're talking about theatre and drama,
that was absolutely theatre and drama.
When we're trying to make pool appealing for others, and try to increase the profile of our game, it's certainly exciting. Certainly my friends who don't have anything to do with pool, that's, for most of them, that's the only couple of minutes of the tournament they watch. So if someone says to me...
just that last couple of minutes,
If someone says to me, do I love a 6 Red Shootout? My answer is no. But do I think it's important for adding excitement, theatre, drama to the game? Yes. So, yeah.
Now, we did cut you off briefly. So, Kolbe's 5-2 up, and you come back to level the match at 5-all.
Yeah.
How were you feeling at 5-2 down, and was the clock building pressure on you as you kind of came back to level it?
Yeah, well, there was under half an hour to go of the match, so certainly knew that it was time to... Well, I couldn't afford for Kolbe to take another frame. I was probably disappointed to be 5-2 down. I thought I'd given myself chances and butchered them. And it was frustrating knowing what you are capable of, and knowing how you want to play, particularly when you're in the arena on the big stage, against a legend of the game, and also a good friend. There's no friends on the table when you're out in a final. We both wanted to win as much as each other. I guess at 5-2, I was frustrated with myself. Felt like I had opportunity. Felt like Kolbe wasn't playing her best. I certainly wasn't playing mine. And I think there was just a moment that I said to myself, it's not over yet. I didn't give up. I still believed I could win. And I still believed that I could certainly push the match and make her have to win it. I think at 5-2, it's pretty easy to say, oh, it's probably unlikely, and it's probably easier at that point where Kolbe just can try not to lose the match, I think. So I did. I made a really big effort to go out and attack. Certainly, I've watched a couple frames back, and certainly there are times when I probably could have played a more defensive shot. But I just had to back myself in those moments, assert some pressure and some authority and some attacking authority, I think, in the game. And that just really changed the momentum of the game. And then at 5-all, I had a chance and I rattled a ball, and I think if I'd have got that, possibly take that frame. But I didn't let that get to me. I said, if someone had said to me 25 minutes ago, you'd be at 5-all, 6 Red Shootout to take the title and defend your title, you'd take that any day of the week. So, and I knew the 6 Red is what it is. So I could have sat there and complained to myself, oh, I'm in a 6 Red, it's a toss of the coin, whatever. I just chose to embrace the moment. I've been out of pool for a while. I miss that. I miss competing. And I miss the big moments. And I'm so grateful that I've been part of quite a few big moments in teams and singles.
So there's a lag. There's a lag for the break. It's hard to tell on stream, but I believe Kolbe wins the lag and sends you in. Have I got that right?
He wins the lag by about half a ball.
Yeah, it looks very close. That's why I couldn't tell on the stream.
And I think we both knew that when we lagged. So when she sent me in. And yeah, I just, again, like at the end I can get myself hung up on not winning the lag, or I can.
I'll give the details for the viewers. So you post a time of 53.3 seconds in your 6 Red Shootout. And there's you definitely show a bit of urgency. And you're right now that you say you left your chalked in, like I didn't remember seeing you chalk your cue, but now you very clearly didn't. You missed probably 3 or 4 balls, I'm going to say, along the way. But you get back to your seat, you've posted 53.3. You're like, how are you feeling? What do you think your chances are at that kind of point?
Oh, look, to be honest, I didn't really think of it. I just thought the pressure's now on Kolbe. And it felt hard for me out there. So it was going to feel hard for Kolbe. And 53 may not be a good time, but it's still a time that has to be beaten. At that moment, I'm still in the tournament. Kolbe still has to beat the time to win the tournament. And
this is why I think it's important to know that, like, you'd only ever done this once before. Kolbe's never done this before in a match condition. I presume it's not a thing that you practice.
No. To be honest, I didn't even realise that would be the conditions we're playing under.
If you won the lag, would you have gone first?
I probably would have sent Kolbe in, but I think in future, I will go first. I actually think
in hindsight,
I actually think in future I will choose to.
Because the thing is, it's hard out there, and then if you set a half decent time, for them it's going to be hard anyway. And now they've got time to also beat as well. So I think going first, and I've gone first a fair few times. Going first, there's pressure, but you can actually just concentrate on trying not to miss too many balls, and then just knock them all in whatever time you get. And then the next person comes in, and not only they have to perform, but now they have to actually beat something, which adds more pressure. So I actually think it's an advantage to possibly go first.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I didn't see it like that prior to being in the moment. But yeah, if I had my time again and I won the lag, I'd go first. Absolutely.
It depends on the time the first person shoots. So like in the men's, I think a good time was anything in the 20s. So like anything from like 25, 28, that was pretty solid. Even a low 30s put the other people under pressure. So if you went first and got like a 27, which is solid, the other person now, they can't really chip balls around too much. They can't really, just maneuver things. They can't, you do have to move. But if you get like a 38, if I do a bad break, I know I've got time to chip them out. If a ball's on the rail, I know I can just half ball it and bring it out. And I know I've got an extra 10 seconds of maneuverability up my sleeve. So if they go first and get 40 seconds, my goal is to do a 30-second shootout, not a 20-second shootout.
That's kind of an interesting observation in the context of this. So Kolbe, Taylor's posted 53.3. Kolbe's actually posted 56, so she was only like 2 seconds behind. But there was a moment. There was a moment, a couple of shots in, where you were talking about if you've got time, you can chip them open, and I think Kolbe's never done this before. Right? She doesn't have that experience of having a bunch of them under her belt and know those little nuances. Where I think that's what she needed to do, and it looked like she just got a bit confused, and she actually kind of walked around a couple of times, not knowing what shot to play next. By the look of it,
and that was the problem.
That to me was kind of the moment where it got away from her.
That was the problem with her break. So if I was there and she'd never done a shootout and she's got a 53-second time to beat, I'm actually saying put the white straight in the middle, hit the ball front straight on. Your only goal is to not have the white move around the table. So just play a stun shot. Even if they open up and literally spread all over the table, just stop the white and then just pot a ball and then pot another ball. But because she did such a tight break, it was all confusing. And when you do a tight break like that, she should have just opened them up again. But because she's never done a Six Red Shootout, and like a Six Red Shootout, your first one and in a grand final is brutal, is absolutely brutal. Yeah, mix one, brutal. You would have, mix in the first Pro Series. They're not fun.
And
they're absolutely horrible. They're fun for everyone else, but they're horrible for the players.
Correct.
And Kolbe, shout out to you and congratulations on being a runner-up. It's easy for us to be critical here on the sidelines. We know it's tough out there. We enjoy the theatre of it. Congratulations on a great event. And we know you'll come back better and stronger for the next time you have to do this. So
I still would have liked to have seen a 7-all race to 8. I much would have rather watched and then played the frame out and someone actually has to cross the line, Even in a shootout, that's actually, now I think about it, the Six Red Shootout, no one even actually has to cross the line. Taylor went first and she doesn't know where she's at. Her tournament has now ended and she doesn't know if she's going to win or not. At least in the shootout with the Chinese 8-ball, you have to pot the balls. You actually cross you cross the line by making balls, so.
And one thing that was unusual here is that, I don't believe either of you could see the clock. Is that true, Taylor?
Yeah, so they didn't let us know the times. So Kolbe didn't actually know what time she was trying to beat. And I think that was because in other Six Red Shootouts in the tournament, that's the conditions they played under. So that was a disadvantage for Kolbe, certainly. And it's,
I would have been timing it myself then.
Yeah, it's an absolute brutal way, and I agree with you, Mark. Not having to actually cross the line, that is the hardest part. There's nothing like being a frame away from a win, and having to get over the line, and that's that's how champions are built. So I think you're right, and I think in a Chinese 8-ball shootout, you've got to pot the ball.
Maybe we adopt to the Chinese 8-ball way. Maybe put the black ball on the dot, or actually below the dot, halfway between the dot and the cushion, so you don't go in off, and that way everyone can just pot the ball and not worry about in off and just try and pot it. I don't know.
Well, compare this win to your, say, 2019 one. I don't know the black you were lining up for your 2019 one. If it was actually doesn't even matter. But sometimes when you're even plumb on the last black, can't miss it, and for the tournament win, you're like, I've done it, and you get down on that final black and you knock it in for the win. It's an amazing feeling where that Six Red Shootout was probably very mixed emotions there.
Yeah, it was.
And
You know, and
Yeah.
it was gut wrenching for Kolbe too. Like to watch Kolbe go through that.
Really shitty way to lose as well.
Yeah, and
Weird way to win, shitty way to lose.
yeah, I agree. Certainly reflecting on 2019. You know, I remember that black, and I think I always will. And yeah, it is. You got yourself over the line. So yeah, I think certainly when I reflect on this year, I took the momentum into the Six Red Shootout too. Kolbe would have felt really in control of that match at 5-2. So yeah, I think pretty brutal way for Kolbe to lose a final and to lose a title. And certainly, yeah, a tricky way for it to be announced, you know. Not very often does a title get announced by someone announcing who the winner is. So, yeah.
Oh, so at the end, because when I was watching it, I thought that you both knew that you had shot the faster time, but it was close. So they were just getting like an official confirmation.
No, we had no
So
idea.
you actually both didn't know.
No, we had no idea.
Wow.
So we were standing there, and
that's really weird.
yeah. So it got announced. So,
Boxing.
and that's how they had done other Six Reds in the tournament. So they kept it consistent to that.
Yeah, they should have held your hands up and like Taylor's here and Kolbe's here, and all of a sudden, and Taylor.
Yeah.
You know, like
And a red and blue corner in this
that's
instance would have worked. So that's it.
in the red corner.
That's it.
Yeah, and even as a viewer, like we weren't. So actually, if you watch back on the commentary, the official time, there was a couple of, I think there was 2 people timing, and they were just trying to correlate for the official time. But on the stream, Trav, I think, just started his own clock so that he kind of knew approximately where it was. So we kind of knew roughly what the time was, but we couldn't see a clock. When you were doing your shootout, as a viewer, you didn't know what the time was until they announced it.
Yeah, okay.
You know, unless you were paying attention to actually the stream time or something. So, and I'm sure that they will improve that and try and get better at that stuff for next time if they continue with that format. But like you say, like it's good to learn. The theater was good. Like I think the hosts here would like to see late frames, like, you know, maybe quarters, semis, and finals get played out. I love the time from a tournament director's point of view. I love the timed matches early on for scheduling, but late, I think we want to see someone play out to be a winner, an ultimate winner.
When someone's under time pressure, they can no longer play safeties, and the value of a defensive safety for someone in Kolbe's position, let's say 5-2 up with 30 minutes to go, the value of a defensive safety is so much more valuable now. When she decides to play a defensive safety, she's now just taken 4 minutes off the clock in this frame.
Correct.
So it changes the not just the race to and the time, but it changes the actual alteration to how the match even goes. So that's what I don't like. I don't like. So what are we trying to achieve? Like, we're making races to sets shorter. We're making timed matches shorter. We're making tables smaller. We're making pockets bigger. You know, like at what point are we going to actually try and improve the skill level rather than just keep making it easier for everyone else to win? You know, it's a very dangerous thing to go down. And I think that once a tournament doesn't need to work by a schedule anymore, even on the final day of play, whatever, every tournament's different. You don't have to remove the match clock, but I think you need to extend it a lot. And instead of trying to make sure the matches run quickly, it should become about just making sure they don't run way too long. So I remember Alec Evernatis saying to me years ago, you know, that the hardest frames to win are your first and your last. Well, there doesn't have to be a last. Your last frame to win is the shot clock. So you don't have to cross the line. You could win a tournament by ever actually finishing a match. Like, very, very, very realistically.
Just get in front and hold them off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, Taylor, you can only win based on the rules that are in front of you, and you did exactly that. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Marty.
Hopefully we'll see you back in 2026 to try and defend your title for the 7th year
Yeah, that's it.
running.
That's the plan. And I think, there's a bit of fire in the belly now to, the journey to Nationals 2026 and wear a red shirt again. It's been a while and hopefully be at Nationals, if I can, earn a red shirt and celebrate, 10 years since our world title. I'm sure that will be a big celebration at Nationals with the guys as well. So, looking forward to working hard and
I think they give you a spot anyway because you're the Big Guns champion.
nah, not quite, but happy to earn one. Happy to earn one. I'll try, but I just want to say thanks to Mel. We don't get many tournaments outside the Australian title to play high stakes pool. Throwing $500 entry in, it's not for the faint-hearted. So what Mel's doing to try and get women's pool centre stage, and the fact that it ran alone, in the past it's run alongside the men, which has been great as well. But knowing that this was pulled together really to give women a crack. I can't say thank you enough. I've been around pool a long time, and the opportunity to play in these tournaments is really special. And I look forward to hopefully some more events and many more battles. And I also want to say congratulations to young Roxy. She entered. I was really impressed with how she played, one of our juniors coming through the ranks, and I look forward to her journey and the journey of some of the other girls coming through. But her composure, I could learn a lot from that. That's certainly a part of my game that I've got to keep developing and working hard on, and to just share the arena with legends like Kolbe and Linda Element, who consistently get to pointy ends of the tournament, or the pointy end of the tournament, in everything they do, whether it's, a state title, Australian title, or, world singles. So I'm really grateful. Certainly the win is great, but I've got fire in the belly again to give it a real crack over the next 12 to 24 months. And I think that's the biggest win for me. So thank you for having me.
Good stuff.
Well said, Taylor.
Got to say too that Trav and Mal actually do a good job when it comes to the nationals and all these tournaments. Mal puts in a lot of work. They do a great job. And Trav running the nationals, the last few that I've been to, everything's just run pretty mint. So well done to both of them as well.
It was phenomenal. We had 8 tables, and they were all streamed. So I've never been to a tournament where 8 tables have been streamed, and a women's tournament. So it's phenomenal. I do think the quality of pool for women is getting better, and the investment that Mel's made and Trav is sensational. Jay Harmon from Cuball TV coming out and making that happen. I had people who've never watched a game of pool in their life invest time, and when we're talking about growing our sport and growing the spectacle of it, I think that's only a good thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, this was all at the brand new Club 9 as well, which looks fantastic. It was great to have all streaming. Mel did a fantastic job running the tournament. Trav jumping on the commentary was fantastic. And as a viewer, it was just good to be able to watch. Yeah, he's good. And it was good to just watch some interesting pool and some theatre, like you said, Taylor.
Trav and
of
Rusty
any
would
kind. So, I enjoyed it. So thanks for putting it on, Mel. Great job. Yeah. Taylor, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
You were great, Taylor. Like, for someone who said, I don't really like talking about myself much, you did a really good job. Well done.
The irony of it, I entered the state. I entered the state singles not long ago and nearly didn't qualify for the last 8. Qualified for by a frame, and then lost. So, it can be pretty inconsistent in my world at the moment. So happy to get the win, but
good on you.
All right, enjoy.
Well hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Scary and
Thanks,
Robbo.
Taylor.
Hope to see you soon. Look forward to it.
Well
Take
done.
care.
You will. Well done.
See you later. She was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did well.
Let's do the local roundup with thanks to Gary Bradshaw Photography. If anyone doesn't know Gazza Bradshaw has done photography for the local leagues in Melbourne in particular, and I think the Nationals as well, and a lot of the big tournaments for years. He's
Does a great
absolutely
job.
fantastic. His work is unbelievable. And he has sponsored this local roundup. So thanks to you, Gats. We're going to do a quick roundup of all of the results from the local league in the EDPL and the DDPL. All right. This is DDPL, Division 1. So JD's in Division 1. Gary Bradshaw's put himself right up front and center in the first photo. There he is on the left. Defeated ED's Pockets 19-12. Congratulations to you boys at JD's. In Divi 2, the Sandown Potters beat Fletcher 19-10. Right on, Sandown Potters. Good on you guys and girls in there. This is one of the Divi 3 leagues. There's a couple of Division 3 leagues. So DDPL Division 3, JD's Black here defeated another JD's teams 13-4. Well done to you. This one, I'm not even sure which division this is because I've got this photo, but not the division. But there's another. It says Div 3 and Sandown Potters. So congratulations to you. Let's jump over to EDPL Division 1. This is Sandown Potters. Good to see a few of the Sandown Potters teams in here. Defeated Manhattan 21-16. What a team of legends that is. Look at that. Jimmy Reen, John Russell, Enrico DiGiorgio, Isabella DiGiorgio. Wow, what a powerhouse team that is in Divi 1.
The Emma.
Congratulations to you. Yeah, Emma Babawatu in there.
Jerry, Vince.
Let's
Vince
go
Belvita
over
on the back.
to. Yeah.
I'm just having to zoom in.
And these are all photos that Gary's actually taken as well. So if you ever want something like this, just contact Gazza and he'll sort you out.
Yeah. Anyone who's in any of these teams can buy full prints of these from Gary Bradshaw Photography. You can get in touch with him. We'll put a link in the show notes for you. This is EDPL Division 2. Sandown Potters again defeated. So they actually had a tie with Manhattan 20-all and then won the tie-break 3-1. So congratulations, Sandown Potters. What a great match that was. EDPL Division 3. Manhattan has defeated Dorset 17-13. Well done, Hatters. Divi 4. Sandown Potters defeated the Dorset Devils 17-13. On to you. And there's just one more here, Mick. The EDPL DDPL Premier League combined. Fletcher defeated the Green Tables 19-17. Congratulations to all of you.
I rocked up there and watched them get their trophy. I did the right thing.
You did. But then there was also this, Mick. Hey!
Turned up to get your trophy.
I didn't actually know that was happening, by the way. I didn't know that was happening.
But you thought it was a chance.
You've won the league singles, so congratulations to you, Mick. Got your name on that trophy for the second time, I believe. Back to back?
Back to back. I'm not sure if I can't remember if I've won it previously. I'd have to go back and have a look. But I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and have a look.
I think so. It's hard to tell because
I think I may have.
It was separated. EDPL, DDPL. I know you've come best player in that a number of times, but I can't. I'm getting them confused. Maybe. I think
this is the first year that EDPL and DDPL have actually combined everyone's score and just gotten me.
I see. Yeah. So thanks, Gazza, for all of those picks and for the rundown of all the scores. There's also a bunch of money matches going on, and Gazza is running a bunch of these in Gazza B's Rack House. There has been some that have run already back on the 13th of October. Today's the 23rd that we're recording. Gazza himself won a money match against Ian Caruso 11-9. Tim beat Raj 11-9. Dean Killen beat Michael Kumar 11-3. And Tony Massey beats Steve McCormack 11-7. That's a good win. And I believe he's streaming all of these. Is that right, Mick? Gaz has been streaming these.
He's got his own little YouTube. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's Gary. We'll have to find out. Chuck it in the description.
We'll find it and we'll put a link in the show notes if anyone wants to watch these. So coming up next Sunday, the 26th, we'll have this episode out before then. There are another 5 matches. Bo Van playing Michael Kumar, Jacob Wrigley playing Rob Harris, Gazza Bradshaw again playing Simon Feekings, Sheaf Azim is playing Cody Cairns, and Steve McCormack is playing Stephen Brosnahan. So they'll all be streamed hopefully on Gazza's YouTube channel. And thanks, Gazza, for just supporting the local pool community. Like, I see your name everywhere and you're always around supporting locals. So thanks. We really appreciate it.
Good stuff.
There is another, some other money matches going on. I'll put this one up on screen. So this one is coming up. Is the date there?
It's next Saturday. It's the 1st of November.
There it is. 1st of November. There it is. So this is Paddy Hood is playing Keenan Sigler in Geelong, in lovely Banks, Geelong, at the Ukrainian Sports Club. This is a race to 21 for a 20K pot. It'll be streamed on Cue Ball TV. So that's one of the big money matches that is going on. This is the kind of season for the big money matches. I know also Brent Reed is 8-Ball Q Sports. He's got a bunch of money matches going on up in Queensland.
Yeah.
Jack Phillips just had a rematch against Macwin Fernandez and won the rematch. He lost the first one and won the rematch. So congratulations to you, Jack. 8-Ball SA is running some money matches, and I've seen money matches happening in the UK as well in the off season. So there's some big pots going around. If you like watching a bit of pool and a bit of drama, especially sometimes in the UK, those crowds get pretty rowdy. There's a bit of atmosphere. Yeah. There's plenty on to get out there and see. So go and have a look at all of them. Yeah. Let's cover the snooker. So since we last spoke, Mark Williams has won the Xi'an Grand Prix, beating Shaun Murphy 10-3 in the final. That is quite a margin, given Shaun was on an absolute hot streak. He'd won the previous tournament and he made the final
Mark Williams,
of this
man,
tournament.
is still doing his thing. He's engaging like fine wine.
Yeah. And there's a bit of talk around because he won a pro event in his teens, in his 20s, in his 30s, in his 40s, and now in his 50s.
I think he's got more longevity than Higgins and Ronnie. Like, when he just seems like his attitude and personality just seems less taxing on himself than the other guys. Like, you watch Higgins and just play and everything, and he's like, his face goes red when he plays. I feel like he's got to work really hard. Everything's, really, really, really such a battle. And Ronnie's Ronnie, but where Mark, I feel like he's just happy-go-lucky. He just kind of plays, and the way he plays the game and everything, it just feels like less effort, The other guys are just work, especially Higgins. Geez, he just looks like he's working so hard out there, And Ronnie's, well, no, but it was Ronnie. But I just feel like Mark could just kind of just keep doing his thing. If he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He's just sort of got that carefree attitude, really. He's my favorite player, has been since I was a kid. So I'm glad to see him win.
And can I just mention, put out a mention for Shaun Murphy? We covered him in a previous episode when he won the last event. He came from 16th up to 12th. He's now up to 9th because he's been run up in this event. But I don't know if you caught it. He played a match against Kyren Wilson in this event. He won 5-0. Kyren Wilson did not pot a ball for the entire match.
I don't know if I've seen that before.
In the final frame, Shaun was put in a big break and fouled on the pink. Kyren Wilson got 6 points. They were the only points he got for the entire match. Every frame he was held to 0.
Jesus.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Standard of those guys.
Kyren Wilson is no mug. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, when you're just in your chair, it doesn't matter if you're Kyren Wilson or or a C grade player. It's all the same when you're in your chair. You know,
Could have been me. Could have been me.
Could have been you.
Yeah.
Been anyone. Yeah. It's one of those sports, you know, you're just sort of just very powerless when it's when
Would
well
have
done,
been me. I
well
would have
done.
got more than 6 points.
you would have found a way, Mick.
Well done to Mike Williams and to Sean Murphy. In the Heyball, there's been 2 events since we last spoke. There was the International Open Thailand stop, which was won by someone named Temuujin, which just blows my mind a bit. So, yeah, Temuujin defeated Himanshu Dinesh Jain. I hope I got your name there right. 13-2. So, in a race to 13, Temuujin has had 6 break and runs.
Tap-ins.
Tap-ins. So, Temuujin namesake is doing well. And in the Pan American Heyball Open was on, and Stephen Ellis defeated the Big Daddy Arfin Dad in the final there. Congratulations to you, Stephen.
Arfin's getting around, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing the circuit.
On the tour.
And we're near the end of October, so Cup Week is next week here in Australia. The Melbourne Cup is on, so there's a long weekend in Melbourne. I don't think it's everywhere in Australia, but the World Championships are on in Brisbane, and there is a bunch of Australian men and women going. I'd say good luck to all the Aussie boys and girls going to play in Brisbane in the World Championship.